My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. I was kidnapped and brought over to Lawrence County, Alabama, Moulton, kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 41. So I'm 75 years old. My father was King Edward VIII, who was illegally taken down and nothing but lies told about him. My God, he was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe of Madison, Wisconsin, sister to Georgia O'Keefe, the artist. History would tell you that there's a 99-year seal put on my father's abdication, which it was a forced abdication, and my father was married to my mom, so he couldn't have married Wallace Warfield Simpson, an impostor, a double did. My Uncle George, illegal George VI, seized power. He kidnapped me, Victoria II, the real monarch, and the United States helped to install him because he signed illegal treaties allowing the United States to put its military bases all over Great Britain, everything British, and make us fight against ourselves. So Great Britain was hostage and still is, and so am I here in this country. Now then, I don't know that I'll ever, I'm 75 years old, and they've pretty much done everything, broke every law in the book against me and my sons here. I don't know where they are. They're heirs after me. Not Elizabeth. She's a phony. She's not anybody's monarch, at least not legally, although she's enjoying all the benefits while she gave Great Britain away and took sides with the United States and the New World Order, the Jews, the Illuminati, the New World Order that everybody can't wait to rush into. So I told about mind control murders. I didn't find out about my kidnapping until '83, and I've put this on YouTube, Facebook. The media's known it. Well, 1970, I started telling about mind control murders. I didn't know the mechanism used until '76, but I want to skip to this. I don't know if people are just discarding it or what. Mind control is invisible, and I'll use Larry Flint as an example. I was doing the book in Marietta, Georgia, 76 to 80, and Mr. Flint was at Lawrenceville, Georgia, being sued, and he was gunned down with a magnum, and his attorney was killed. And the man was programmed to shoot and kill, like so many of these others, shootings and knifings and whatever. You can create an illness, they can, or cure it. For a long, long time, it's the Tesla files that were stolen. What I want to say here is I've lived one hell of a life. Civil rights, I've had none. I told about after I moved up here, I lived on the Appalachian Trail and starved and frozen, and I'm Victoria II, the legal heir. Nobody cares to correct history. In fact, the last years, I have an immune disorder. I'm allergic to chemicals. And if you can control my small little apartment, which this one is in disarray right at the moment, but when I have had a place to live, you can come in and control the vent, air conditioning, you come in and spray your plumber, your maintenance guy. I have had run-of-the-mill on me, and they've really taken out my lungs, made me so sick I have to breathe, and that's the whole thing. Since law enforcement is involved in all this, they move in and get things on people. The FBI had a letter from them when I did the book. It was signed, dated by Bill Harper, U.S. attorney out of Atlanta. The FBI directed it to them for an because they'd well, I didn't know. They'd been there all along. They just made it look like I came in on a wiretapping when I was kidnapped and all these mind control murders. I was doing the book. Later I found out it's who I am. It's why all this has been done to me, my name. Because of who I am, I was born. I was kidnapped by the Joe Kennedy, the New World Order, my own uncle. Remember the movie, The King's Speech, which made him out to be a good guy? My God, nobody could. In any culture, he would be condemned and hated. Instead, he and Elizabeth are renowned. for their lawlessness. Uh, anyway, I wanted to get to every place I've been able to get, and I'm not allowed to have very much money. I can pay a month and I'm gone. They can come in and make it so bad that I cannot stay anymore. And I'm not going to use the state trooper's name anymore. Yeah, I am. Carl Barton, retired. His wife brought me after my tent. I'm a monarch, the legal one. I didn't commit any crimes, but on a daily, moment-to-moment basis, they've been committed against me in plain sight. They made a beggar and a pauper out of me, and that's what Larry Flint, in essence, said an endorsement he did when I ran in a political campaign to replace one of the doctors, Larry McDonald, U.S. Congressman urologist from Atlanta, who helped in committing so many crimes. But you know who's paid for everything? Me. So what happens if I get a place to live? I can pay a month and I'm have to leave the next day, and they keep my rent. They can make it so bad. Over the years, I have had my immune system attacks itself when I have to inhale fumes and chemicals that most of them would kill a horse, much less me. So over the years, my body's deteriorated. I'm 75 years old. I can hardly walk. Where I'm staying now is no different. I just paid the rent Friday, and Friday night I thought I was going to die. I was doing better. The inflammation, there wasn't as much inhaling the chemicals. What it is, they come in and make your place toxic with toxic fumes. Try telling somebody when law enforcement is having it done. They get stuff on people and gain their help in what's happening to me, harassment, tortures, everything in the book. Whether it's internal revenue or here's a good one. They get something on their kids or are going to kidnap them. Who do you think is programming all these people to kidnap kids? But it's the citizens that are at fault. They don't have to do it. They do it because they don't care, and it's kind of a joke. And, hey, we're not going to have to pay for our crime. In fact, they're going to dismiss our drunk driving charge or our internal revenue charge if we'll just help get me. So my point is, I'm going to mention this without going any further. You can understand what I'm saying. When I first came to Roanoke, no money for a long time, slept on the Appalachian Trail, etc. A black reverend, and now I'm going to forget his name. I remember him saying he was a bishop. They're using crypt like this whole thing's been like a chess game, sick chess game, where they were taking down Great Britain. Every move meant something. But anyway, I guess I wasn't supposed to say his name. I can't remember it right at the moment. But he said they got $1 million baby when they kidnapped you. Well, no, it was a lot more than any million. And he said about my sons, he said they took what you loved the most, my sons. Well, they took what my mother and father loved the most, me. I just called because I got to leave here. My kidneys are failing. There's formaldehyde that was put in here, and my eyes fly open. I can't sleep. My kidneys they're horrible. So I've got to move from here. I called on Craigslist and found somebody, and they called me back, and they told me they'd rent it to me with no deposit. And then they called back and said, well, there would be a deposit. And his comment was, and I'm very in tune to this, he said, well, now it was I'd have to go down to the office, and his quote was, and see if they will rent to you. So phone calls are made, and I'm blocked, and people go along with it. And I don't mean, I shouldn't even have to say this, but, and I'm not, my time's running out. I was going to mention how I'm treated and how another Brit has been treated who's dead. They found her body. And you would think that people around here are so helpful and kind. The media covered it. The media's always known about me. And it's been the total opposite. on how I've been treated.